but we don't quite know what makes the system tick. You may have heard the term shadow lobbyist floating around. Linda Keenan and I coined it several years ago in our featured column in the Huffington Post to characterize a common type of today's influencers. We offered many examples, week to week. Since then, the shenanigans of shadow lobbyists have attracted increasing attention in various outlets, including the New York Times, drawing on the work of the Center for Responsive Politics, and more recently The Nation, in a more encompassing treatment. But while reporters and other observers are ever closer to getting the gist of the new corruption, they're still not quite there. Their stories are mostly centered on Washington, Capitol Hill, and K Street lobbyists. Even the imagery that editors select to accompany the articles often showcases the U.S. Capitol. The media's primary targets are predictable, such as how K Street has evolved in recent years or what former elected officials are doing. But what about former executive branch officials or staff, academics, think tankers, the use and abuse of media? In fact, today's most destructive corruption and unaccountability in influence wielding are broad in scope, and they extend far beyond Washington and far beyond the United States. The new corruption I document almost certainly touches nearly everywhere. Moreover, if we view the players being exposed as aberrations, we're less inclined to look into how they operate, who and what they're connected to, and the systemic changes that have produced them. We won't know how to spot them, what we're up against, or how to affect change. As I said, as an anthropologist, it is my job to lay out the patterns, to show how the pieces of the influence puzzle fit together. It's also my job as an anthropologist to point out the connections. Indeed, social network analysis, charting how people are linked to each other and to organizations, originates largely in social anthropology. Unaccountable connects the dots, not just of players, their roles, affiliations, and networks. It explores relationships among systems. Cultural trends we see in media also rear their head in finance. It also ties together multiple and seemingly disconnected threads across a wide range of public and private arenas. The connections you will discern by reading Unaccountable at first may seem unrelated, but in fact they can help you make sense of the world around you. Today's ways of influencing are not limited to one arena or another, like finance, media, or politics. The lack of clear boundaries, indistinct identities, melded missions, and focus on performance that we see in the media, we also see in think tanks, academia, grassroots organizations, and government. Corporate websites now sometimes look like news outlets. News outlets' products, like a collection of press releases. Philanthropy, like influence laundering. And high-powered players move agilely across arenas, say retiring from the military and government and joining a private equity firm, while assuming multiple university associations. Synthesizing a range of unfolding phenomena of global relevance, Unaccountable provides an encompassing view of modern-day influence. I've chosen exemplary cases that show how the mode of organizing influence has changed from the recent past, and how unaccountability is thereby heightened. Every day the media offer up more stories from which to choose. Indeed, until the minute this book went to press, I was continually including new ones. As you read Unaccountable, your own examples will occur to you as you see them in action in your communities and countries. In them, you'll find yourself identifying the different forms of organizing influence spelled out in the book, and you'll be equipped to make the connections among players and arenas. Like an amateur anthropologist, you'll have the tools to take effective action. Since I've been writing and speaking about the new corruption, people as far-flung as a city planner in Columbus, Ohio, a farmer in Saskatchewan who serves on a Canadian agriculture board, and a political scientist in Israel have enlisted my analysis to help them understand the players and patterns in their own circumstances. Unaccountable draws heavily on examples from investigative journalism.